emoji.
I am so glad you came back. Look, today, this is not so much a recipe video per se. This is more like a technique video, right? Just one of the many things, many labors of love that I have to go through when I'm cooking in a peanut gallery, right? So today, I'm going to be smoking some chicken thighs, okay? But we're not really worrying about how I'm going to smoke it. It's mainly about how I'm going to prepare the chicken itself, primarily the skin, so you can get the best enjoyment out of it. Okay? So here I have a single serving size, right? See that? A little single serving. I'm using one of my hamburger cheeseburger containers there. But then for the masses, yeah, I got a plate full for you. So I want you to kick back, relax, watch what I do. Oh, and also, hey, when you're watching this, when you see what I do with the skin and the fat, let me know what you think about what I'm doing and why I do it, and if this is something you might want to try in the future. Let's get to it. Hey, this is Shrashira. That's the best elevator music I ever heard. So, as you already know, I'm doing smoked chicken thighs. Okay? Now, the thing about the peanut gallery, if you haven't already picked up on it, I have to do a little extra, okay, when I prepare their food, because you know they're real picky, right? And when I'm dealing with chicken, specifically chicken thighs, if I'm going to smoke them, for example, I have to, when I'm cleaning it, I have to remove like 95% of the fat, okay? I have to take the skin off, I remove the fat from the skin, and then I put it back after I season the chicken and smoke it. And the reasonings, and I kind of understand the reasoning. You know, when you bake chicken, which the peanut gallery hates, you know, you bake chicken, the chicken thighs, and you take that nice bite, it tastes good, but then, you know, the outside crispy, but then you bite into that big chunk of fat that was never removed or didn't render properly. So it changes the whole texture. It just messes everything up in your mouth. So it throws people off. It throws them off as well. Same thing with fried chicken, right? You go grab that big hunkin' breast or the big chunk of the thigh there, and you bite it right into a big just mass of just unnecessary fat. Even I hate that, okay? So what I have to do, especially if I'm not deep frying the chicken and I know they're gonna be eating, I have to clean it. I'm gonna show you how I clean it. Now, the funny thing about it is, having to do that, I later found out that in the barbecue competitions, a lot of pit masters will remove that fat a lot similar to the way that I do it. Now, I had to do it so that the peanut gallery will eat the chicken, but it's nice to know that that labor of love, I'm not the only one doing it, right? So I'll show you how I do it. I don't know if I'm going to show you me doing every piece, but I'll show you how to do a few of them, a couple of them at least. So maybe you can try it yourself. Yes, it's time consuming, but after the fact, it's worth it. It really is. You know, people will enjoy your food a lot better. So let's get to it. So I have here a little bag with ice in it. Gonna be for the skin, I have a big bag for the actual meat part of the breast. So now I'm going to show you how to do maybe a couple of these, or how I do them, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So they've been washed, and the first thing I want to do is take the skin off. Okay, we're taking the skin off, right? Just, you know, pull it off, at least on this one, because the skin's not too bad. And then now on the meat portion, we're going to get all the fat, or most of the fat, and the slime off of your chicken. Okay? And now on the thighs, there's always one side with a nice little piece of fat there. So we're going to get that off of there. That's the main culprit that people bite into when they get that nice piece of fat. Not nice. I'll just say that messed up piece of fat. And then you want to flip it over. You know, get the slimy stuff off. You know, now these veins of fat, that's fine. That's fine. Now if you see excess, you can pull it off. You know, basically anything you don't want to eat, as usual, get rid of it. Okay, this is pretty good. Get that little piece off. And the fat that's remaining is going to render during the smoking process. Okay? Just straighten out. Now, let's get to the skin. Now, this skin, you see, I don't know if you can see how fatty that is, but watch what I do. And this does take practice. You just want to score it, right? You slide it across like you're flaying it. Okay, look at that. See that? See this fat's coming off? Look at that. That was just on one little part. Right? And we're going to get all that off of there. To where when we're done, the skin's almost going to look see-through. Right? So just cutting at an angle, kind of like you're filleting fish almost. So just scraping that fat off. Right? And we're going to put all the fat over here to the side so we can see what we got at the end. Okay, let's turn this guy again. Work on some more. And you're not cutting through the skin. You're just basically scraping the fat off of it. Okay, that's to the side. And this is a timely process. Just, you know, take your time. Like I say, it's a labor of love. Okay? And now, see what we have now is this thin, just the skin. Right? Now that goes in the bag with the ice. So we want to keep it cool. Now let's get one more. Let's get another one. And then I'll do the rest off camera. So now in this one, I got this one because you see this excess skin here and fat. We don't want that. We're going to go ahead and cut that. Okay? This guy right here, the little excess on the edge, just a little cut. Right? And now, let's go ahead and take the skin off, like before. Just pull it off, set it to the side. And now, take this little fat off here, on the sides. Turn it here. On this side, cut the excess fat off. You know, you can scrape if you want, but you want to get the excess gooey fat off of there. Okay? And turn it over. See what you got. See that slime? Get that off of there. Then you're basically looking for anything you don't really want to eat. Right? Look good. That goes in the bag now. Again, this guy. Again, you see how bulky the skin is? Let's go ahead and get that thinned out. So let's cut that fat off. You see how thick that fat is that I'm scraping off here? Put that to the side. So when I'm done with everything, I want you to be able to see how much fat I'm taking off and how much fat you would normally be eating if you didn't take it off. You see? So for all of us out there that are like watching cholesterol and fat intake, you may want to look into mastering how to do this. You know, every little bit helps. But yes, it is time consuming. Just cut off here, scrape it, diagonal, just slightly about a 40 to 45 degree angle. Just, you know, scraping the skin to get that off of there. Look at it. See how it looks? Looks good. See how thin that looks now? Look at that. Into the ice. So now, I'm going to do the rest of these. I got like 9 more to go off camera. And then when we get back, I'll let you see how much fat we got off of it. Now look at this right here. This right here just came off of 2 chicken thighs. Right? Now let's see what we got when I do the rest of it. Now I'm down to the last few skins here. Now again, just to recap, this is the outer side of the skin. This is the fat side. The fat side is the smooth side. And that's what we're going to be scraping the skin off of. Now, you see how this is all out of shape? We're just going to like cut and tighten that up some. Put that in the discard pile. Try to get a good square or rectangle. Most times rectangles are the best. And now, from this point, we scrape. Right? Get that off of there. You don't want to go too hard because you'll cut the skin. You don't want to cut through the skin. Okay? Again, scrape at an angle. Just like you're filleting. And that fat will come right off, leaving the skin intact. Now, it'll take you, you know, a good few times, chicken thighs of doing this, and you'll get it down pat. Not a problem. It's just time consuming. But you'll end up with a superior product. Okay? Another one in the ice. Okay? Grab this guy. Again, grab the rough side. Then we got the smooth side. Smooth side is where we're going to be cutting from. Let me just square that off a little bit. And then we scrape. Or you could even say we're filleting the fat. If that's the way you want to say it, hey, by all means. Fillet the fat. Scrape it off of there. And see, once you get into the groove, you can do this pretty fast once you get used to it. Now, I've been doing this for years, so it's a little easier. Oh look, this is not going to hardly have any skin, but that's fine. We'll just pair it up with that small thigh. But I'll show you that stuff later on. See how thin that is? See if I can see how thin? Look how thin that is. That's what we want. Get all that fat off of there. Last one. See, again, see how thin that is now? Got the fat off it, in the bag. Now, I want you to take a look. Look at it, this is all the fat that came off those chicken thighs. If you think about it, you don't want to eat that. I mean, come on. So we got rid of it, okay? So now, let me clean up, and then we're gonna start seasoning this stuff to marinate it. Look at this. You don't want that. Look at all that. That's what you would normally consume if you're not scraping the fat off the skin and getting the excess fat off the meat itself. Well, look at that. Look. Can you imagine? Think about all the chicken that you've eaten, all chicken thighs, for example. You're consuming this. So hopefully after today, you'll no longer consume it. So now you're going to take your favorite dry rub. You know, it could even just be salt and pepper, right? And our chicken are skinless, right? Thighs are in this bag. And now we're going to season them. We're going to season. Seal this up. Now don't worry, we're gonna season them again, but this is just the marinating process, okay? Just opened up once more, add a little bit more seasoning. Now, if you don't have a particular rub, you can just put salt and pepper in here, right? A little paprika, you know, a little sugar if you want, right? Things like that, just to give it some additional flavor. Okay, let the air out. Okay, into our bowl. Now our skins that are sitting on ice, we're not going to season those yet. We're just going to seal it up, add it to the bag, and this is going to go in the refrigerator for a minimum of a half hour, okay? But if you can get it to like 2-4 hours, you're good. But a minimum of half an hour. Excuse me, a minimum of a half an hour, okay? So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and I'll see you back when it's time to put this stuff together. Now it's been a couple hours, and we're going to arrange our chicken, you know, meat side down, right? On a cooling rack, on a cookie sheet. You see how nicely seasoned these are? It's good. So in case you're wondering, this was the side that had the skin on it. This is the meat side. So we want meat side down. Kind of like form kind of bunches a little bit, and you'll see why here in a minute. Because we're actually going to put this entire cooling rack on the smoker, you see. We don't want them touching. You know, if it can be avoided, that is. And we got one more. Now just arrange them. Okay, and the reason I'm leaving them on the cooling rack is because it's going to make it easier for me to move when they're on the smoker. Now let's grab the skins. Now with the skins, we want to open them up. Right, open them up. This is a pretty big one, so we're going to put on this guy. Right, just drape it on and reskin it. See, just like that, reskin it. We're going to do this all of them. Here's a little dude. And let's reskin this little guy. If we, well, no, actually, might be a better fit for this guy here. Yeah. All right. Open this guy out. So it's kind of like a puzzle, you see? Just putting them together. Tuck it under if you have to. But just get that skin on it. So that way you can have all the skin. You not have that fat that's just, you know, grossing people out. Unravel this. And when you're unraveling it, you know, be careful not to rip it. Okay? You may have to move some things around, but if you do, it's no problem, no problem. Drape it on. Now, what we're going to do is take our rub and just season the top. All right, just season the top. All right. And now we're going to start warming up the smoker. And we're going to be smoking this about 1.5 to 2 hours. Roughly about 275, 300-ish. So I'll see you when I go to put this on the smoker. Okay, let's add these in. All right, so we added the chicken thighs to the smoker. Okay, like I said, we're going to be smoking this about 1.5 to 2 hours. And probably like every 30 minutes or so, we're going to just put a little chunk of cherry wood in it, right? Because right now, the only thing that's heating it right now, the fuel, we're just using regular barbecue briquettes, okay? There's a method to the madness. One of these days, I will explain to you guys how it works so you can get it together, okay? So now let me go add some cherry wood. Oh yeah, so now, you remember when we laid the skin back on top of the chicken thighs? Now as it's cooking, what's going to happen, that skin is going to retract, right? It's almost going to reattach itself to the chicken, okay? So that's why we do that. So it'll look like it's just a normal piece of chicken thigh. You know, the illusion, it's great. It's great. You know, people are going to love it. They're going to expect to bite into a whole bunch of fat, and it's just not going to be there, right? And because all the fat's gone, if you cook it in a hot temperature, it's going to yield a crispy skin on top of that too, and even a bite-through skin. And that's ultimately what you want. Okay, you don't want a rubbery skin. All right. All right, let's sauce these guys up. Right. Oh yeah. You can get the little guy here. I don't know if you can hear it, but the skin's all crispy, which is what we want. We're gonna put a little sauce on it. We're gonna let it set. Let it set for about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna pull it off. And there we have it. We have our smoked barbecue chicken thighs, right? I hope you check this out. Try the recipe out. You know, I know you're gonna enjoy it. This is more of like a technique, like I said before, so that your guests, your family, can enjoy the meal better. If you like this, again, thumbs it up, right? Share it out if you can. Hey, hit me up on Instagram because I try to put up at least a photo to let you know what I got coming up next, right? And if you're not already subscribed, hey, join the Peanut Gallery. Hey, subscribe. Don't be ashamed, and it won't cost you a thing. That being said, this is Shrashira. I am out.